Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Today I have a very special video for you. As you can see here on the screen, I have made a website. Yes, I have made a Blossom Charger website or a Blossom website or whatever you want to call it. So if you want to go check it out, the link is down in the description below. I'm going to put the link everywhere. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. It's going to be in my bio. It's going to be everywhere. But yeah, if you want to check it out, I've made a website. I've spent a lot of time on this. I'm really happy of how it turned out. And today's video is going to be based off information that I've loaded onto this website as well. I mean, you would know from the title, today I'm going to be talking about Blossom Choice cars. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different tabs here from home to about to top drives. And as you can see, there's the home screen. You know, this is me, my YouTube and Patreon links, and then, you know, my videos, my Instagram posts, so on and so forth. And basically, if you want to go into top drives here, I have a lot of different things under top drives. I have, the Blossom Choices. I have the Hall of Fames. I have like the update archives where I rate every single update that's been out that I've managed to find a picture for. Obviously, I couldn't find the patch notes for some of the updates. Like anything past or anything before the Mazda update, I couldn't find the patch notes for it anymore. So, but before that, I got those in there. It's really cool. It's really fun. You guys should check it out. But today, we're going to talk about Blossom Choices. Best of the best according to me. So, in this website, I have selected 16 cars from each rarity. And I think that these cars are the best in their class and the best in the rarity. The funny thing was, when I was looking, when I was sourcing for cars, which I thought were best of the best, when it came to commons, uncommons, rares, super rares, I figured that there were actually more cars than I needed. I feel like I could have done maybe 12 like really Blossom Choice commons and like 12 really Blossom Choice uncommons. And if you're wondering why I have a wrist guard up, it's because I kind of injured my arm a little bit. Not my arm, my hand. But yeah, basically everything was fine. You know, 16 was sufficient for every rarity. Besides Ultra. Ultra, I needed more than 16, but I was like, you know what? For design's sake, each rarity must have 16. So for Ultra Rares, I just have to say that there are some Ultra Rares that didn't make it on this list that I felt like it should have. Like, for example, the Magan Trophy. I think it's a trophy, Magan Trophy 275. It's a great car. I think at the end of the day, I think that was like number 17, and I was deciding between that or the Volkswagen Golf GTI TCR. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Blossom Choice. These are in my opinion, cars that you cannot live without. These are cars that you need in your garage. Every time I make a garage review episode, these are the cars I'm really looking for if you have it. Obviously, I will put in other factors like what your specialization is and all that kind of stuff. Now, for the most part, these cars are the epitome of textbook, in my opinion. So let's get into it. Starting us off, we have the Alfa Romeo 1750. And of course, if you want to see more of these in more detail, do go check out the website because, you know, it's there for you to see. You can check it out whenever you want. And, you know, there are much other tabs for you to look around. There's an About page where you can take a little Blossom quiz. It's great. But yeah, anyway, Alfa Romeo 1750 GTV. This is my all-rounder low RQ car. It's the kind of the thing I use for the fast circuit. It has decent MRA as well. Then you have the A-Bar 1500 Biposto. This is like, you know, your drag car. It's better than the not the El Camino but the Caballero. And yeah, this is just, you know, the best low RQ drag car. Then we have the Firebird Trans Am, the best twisty. And then, you know, for low RQ, right, I have low RQ twisty, high RQ twisty. Like low RQ twisty is the Firebird Trans Am, high RQ twisty is the Opel GT, and then mid RQ twisty is like Honda Beat. And then like Lotus 7, right, is a great slalom car, great common for the rain. It's so light. 77 handling, standard tires. You know, you have TVR 1600, once again another great twisty, all-round twisty. And then we have the Mercedes-Benz 600, which is like the best common for the quarter mile, the half mile, and the 1 mile. And then if you want like the best common for the test bowl, you have the Alfa Romeo 2600 SZ. Now, one thing to take into account is this is unbiased, so there are going to be Peugeots in this list. Okay, Blossom Choice isn't my favorite cars. Like that could be a different thing where I put in cars like the Tahoe Custom and the BMW M5. But as far as it goes, this is unbiased, and also there are no prize cars, so I did not add any prize cars into this because I know those common Jags are pretty good, the Great Exhibition ones, but they're prize cars, so I didn't add them into it. You know, you have the Pontiac 6000 is, you know, one of the best four-wheel drive ones, and then you have the Fiat Panda 4x4, which is like one of the best off-road commons, because let's be honest, the best off-road common is not really a common that has off-road tires. It's the Fiat Panda 4x4. You know, you have cars like the Fiat Punto, which is an amazing city streets car for the rain, and then you have cars like the Pontiac Tempest and the Ford Escort RS 1600, which are great city streets cars, which are not for the rain, for the dry. So, you know, some really great options here. Really happy with my selection. These are the commons. Moving on to uncommons, as you can see, we're starting off with a amazing car. I love this one. It's lightweight, it has decent handling, medium ground clearance. It's a great city streets car for the low RQ. And then we have an amazing 1 mile and testable car for the uncommon range in the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. We have the Autozam, which everybody knows. This one needs no introduction. With the Lancia Fulvia and the TVR. These two I can't live without. I love them so much. 6783, 6682. They're so good. They're so great. Great low RQ twisty cars. Amazing for clubs. Amazing for championships. Amazing for multiplayer events. Amazing way to save RQ. I love it. And then you have the Mazda Cosmo, which was honestly a car that I already really enjoyed before it got buffed. 8582 standard tires. Now I love a car that can handle. I mean, this thing handles better than a performance tire car, and it has standard tires as well. What makes it even better now is that it got buffed, so now it's medium. It used to be low, now it's medium. So then, you know, you have another all-rounder city streets car. Kind of think of like the HP Forenza, but a standard tire version. You know, you have the Autozen, which is great for the slalom and the twisty, but like it's low ground clearance, and the 0 to 60 is pretty bad. This one's 8.5, and you know, 82 handling, medium ground clearance, standard tires, 423 handling, and rear wheel drive. That is not bad. Then you have the Opel Kadett, which is a better version of the Forenza, but of course, you know, RQ difference by 4. The Chevrolet S10 Blazer Extreme, which is probably my most used uncommon. I use it whenever I can in Dragon City. I don't care what it is. If it's Dragon City, if it's clubs, I'm using the S10 Extreme. You know, because when it's a low RQ, this fits because it's low RQ. If it's a high RQ but not super high, like not 500 RQ, I'll put this in so I can fit in my Bugattis at the same time for the drags. So yes, I do love the S10 Blazer. You know, high ground clearance, 82 handling, decent 0 to 60. Obviously, the top speed is what makes it weak, but then, you know, top speed's kind of irrelevant when it comes to city streets small and kind of medium as well. Some other cars I recommend, as you can see, Fiat Dino Spider, Volkswagen Up, Yunus Roadster, Plymouth GTX, that one everybody knows, Renault Twizy, Europa, Lancia Beta Coupe, Volkswagen Corrado, some absolutely amazing machines in here. Moving on to rares, as you can see, another batch of 16 going from the BBR to the Defender 110, which although it's not uncommon anymore, is still one of the best. Actually, one interesting that I did point out is there's not a single off-road car in here in the uncommon range, because I have to be completely honest with you, the off-road variety in the uncommon section is trash. Like the entire off-road meta for the uncommon section was the Land Rover Defender 110. Like that was it. And since that's been moved to rare, it's nothing. Like what I can think of, like the S10, the S8, the Chevy S8 Blazer, and like the Hummer H1. Those things are heavy. They don't handle. They're just terrible. I mean, I just couldn't find one that was worthy of this. And like the Nissan Patrols, like they aren't even that good. But yeah, moving on to rares with the 110, and of course we have the Escort Rally spec, right? Those two are, you know, amazing. You have cars like the BMW i3, which are i3S, sorry, not the i3. The i3 is a completely different car, but the i3S, which is an amazing car because it has such low 0 to 60. It has medium ground clearance. The handling is okay, and it has standard tires. And you know, one of the main reasons why the i3 is on the list is it's one of the MVPs when it comes to the German championships to get you the Yellowbird. You have cars like the Lotus Elise 1.6, the Maserati Ghibli. In fact, you know, when it comes to the Rally, the Chevette, the Elise, the Ghibli, I have like double or triple of these maxed out in my garage. That's how useful they are. You have the Denali, which is one of the best mid RQ city streets cars, and then you have the Vauxhall Chevette, which is the best city street rare, period. I'm not sure about Santa Monica city streets. That one's different. That one's more speed orientated. But when it comes to the vanilla tracks, right, which are the most common as well, like the vanilla city streets medium or the vanilla city streets small, Vauxhall Chevette HSR is the best, right? You have the Fiat 124 Spider, which was already, once again, an amazing car. I used it a lot in Italian championships, and now it got buffed. It used to be low, and now it's medium, and it still has low 0 to 60. I mean, the same as the Chevette, and 83 handling combined with standard tires, and it's super light as well. It's an amazing machine. Some great cars in here like the Punto. The Punto's a great RQ saver for city streets. The Subaru Leon, it's just an amazing standard tire 4-wheel drive car, also medium, great RQ saver. You have the Opel GT Concept, needs no introduction, and then you have cars like the Coronet Super B for RQ31 4.60 to 60. That is a steal. So anyway, moving on to super rares. Once again, another batch of 16. You have some very useful cars like the Legacy, to the C2 R2, to the K5 Blazer, being, you know, I think the best off-road low RQ super rare, because when you think about it, most of the low RQ super rares are 4-wheel drive trucks. It's these, or this, and the Ram Chargers and the Hummers, and this is better than the Ram Chargers and the Hummers, and is still way cheaper than the more expensive off-roaders, which are usually RQ49. When you think about RQ49, the market is just saturated. It's still not saturated, but inflated. You have the Datsun 240Z, you have the Fiat Seicento, you have the Fiat, like you have three Fiats. You have three Fiats, right? They're all rallies. You have this. You have the Renault. I think it's like, what is it, the 4x4 Renault. That one's actually pretty good. That deserves an honorable mention. That one's actually pretty good. And then you have, I think the new one now, it's like a Peugeot rally car. They're all 49, and you have the Suzuki Swift. The Suzuki Swift is 49 as well. It's such a saturated, like, it's not saturated. Why do I keep saying it's saturated? It's such a inflated competition market, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, the Datsun 240Z is still the best out of all of them. Obviously, when it comes to that Renault, the high ground clearance 4x4 one, that one's a little different, right? Because that's high ground clearance. It's kind of in a different sector. And like I said, once again, it's an honorable mention. Some other great cars, a Ford GT convertible. Honestly, if it wasn't for the buff in this, I would have replaced this with the Chevy HSR, which was 4686. But now with 4386 and medium, this car is like borderline ultra rare stats. You got the Lotus Elise Sprint, the Mitsubishi Outlander, which is like the best all-surface tire super rare, not off-road but all-surface. You got the Miura P400, which is just a better version of the Corvette ZR2 and the Plymouth Superbird, as much as it pains me to say it, because I love the Superbird. And then you have like the R21, which is amazing handling. And then you have, what else do you have? You have the Lotus Elise Sprint, which is even more amazing handling. So some amazing cars. You got the ELR. I know it got nerfed, but honestly, 5289 standard tires, just 89 and standard tires alone is very, very impressive. I know it's still low, but it was useful for the twisties and the slaloms still, and it still is for the rain. Even for the dry, it kind of holds up. And then when it comes to dry twisties and slaloms, I guess you want to go with the Alfa Romeo Giulia TZ, and of course the car park. Such a great car, lightweight, low 0 to 60, high handling, and of course you have the El Camino, which is the best quarter mile super rare, period. And then you have the Miura P400, which is the best half mile and 1 mile super rare, and then you have the Lamborghini Miura Roadster, which is the best test bowl super rare. So you have it all there. Anyway, ultra rares, like I said, there were a lot of ultra rares that deserve to be on the Blossom Choice list that didn't make it. But these are the best of the best in my opinion. There were a lot that I cut out that were higher RQ, so kind of like RQ 60 and above, and I felt that like, although they were amazing, I need to have a spread from RQ50 all the way to 64. So because of that, I had to yeet out some RQ63, some RQ64. So rest in peace to those guys. But as you can see, every car I've had before, I own them all in my garage. I have them all maxed, and most of them are upgraded in their respected way, like 323 and then 332 for the drags, right? And then when it comes to ultras, it's usually 233 and then 332 for the drags, and then 323 for the standards. But yeah, as you can see, the first one I actually don't have is the Auto Delta. I really want the Auto Delta, but everything else I still have, which I'm really lucky to have. Like, okay, so you know, TVR Tamura, it's the best ultra rare for the half mile and the quarter mile, and then you have the Lamborghini Countach LP400, best ultra rare for the test bowl, and then you have the BTR, best ultra rare for the 1 mile, and then you have cars like this Miura SV, which is like the best ultra rare for the quarter mile, 1 mile, and half mile if it's low RQ. Like if you don't have enough RQ to fit in the Tamura, you have the Miura SV. You got the Caterham 270 that represents standard tires in the rain and anything twisty, even a fast circuit, it kind of holds its own. You know, the Elise Sport, which is like your vanilla low RQ twisty, and then you have the Mercedes AMG G63, which is like your drag off-road car. Now this is one of the cars I had had to kick out, which was the Trailblazer from the campaign. That's an amazing car too, and I think it actually does beat the Mercedes-AMG G63 on the test bowl. But like I said, I just did not have enough slots, so shout out to the Trailblazer. Lotus 340R, you know, amazing twisty car. It's better than like the Lotus Exige S2 or whatever, the blue one. You got the M6 convertible, which is one of the best fast circuit ultra rares. Amazing MRA on this, 90 plus, with, you know, low 0 to 60, high handling. Love this car, right? You have the Colorado ZR2. Even after the nerf that it received, it's still one of the best. You have the CTS Coupe, which is a better version than the Honda Legend, and it's also better than the Citroen Metropolis, even though the Citroen Metropolis has a higher RQ by 1. When it comes to all the twisties, you want to go Cadillac CTS Coupe. Obviously, when it comes to the fast, the Citroen Metropolis will beat the CTS, but at that point, why would you even use the Citroen Metropolis? Because yes, it beats the CTS, but then it's going to lose to like Ford RS200, which is another car that I had to kick out. The Ford RS200, which is, you know, one of the best cars. Honestly, thinking about it now, I should have added the Ford RS200. Maybe I should have kicked out maybe like the Vauxhall Maloo for the Ford RS200. Maybe, I don't know. The Maloo is still an amazing car, one of the best city streets cars, and you have the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo for the same reason, but also 4-wheel drive, so it's also useful in the rain. You got TCR. Now, what makes the TCR so special is like it's one of the best German ultra rares, because there's no German ultra rare that exceeds 95 handling. The only other one is like the Roof 3400. That's 4295. This is 4195, so this is actually a better car. So yeah, a lot of great cars, and of course with the Opel Corsa Super that represents front-wheel drive off-road, it's the best in its class. So yeah, a lot of great cars in here, a lot of great cars that I had to omit, but you know, it is how it is. So shout out to the Magan Trophy, the Trailblazer, and the Ford RS200. Those things are amazing still. And of course, another car I really wanted to add in here, which I had no space for, was the Porsche 924 Rally, which is your rear-wheel drive off-road car. But I was like, I have the Colorado in here already. I needed to delete something, so that's another car that I got rid of. Moving on to epics, once again, like I said, this is unbiased. You know, I got cars like the DS Numero 9, which I think is, yes, the best, like, twisty standard tire car. You got cars like the Peugeot 208, which is like, that is the epitome of bang for your buck. RQ66, and you get 100 handling maxed out and 3.30 to 60. That's crazy. That's crazy for RQ66. Bear in mind, 65 is the lowest RQ epic, and you're getting 66 that hits 100 handling. Like, there's no ultra that comes close to that. I guess only the 340R that hits 97. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. You got the F-150 Raptor. That thing's been the best American off-roader since the start of the game, and it will be for at least the next 8 months, because every update seems to take 8 months nowadays. It's really sad. You got the AMG SLS Roadster, amazing MRA, low 0 to 60, great handling. The Furai, great handling. iPay, one of the best standards in the game. One of the best, you know, with the DS Numero 9. You get the M3 CS for RQ76. You get it 3.1, 0 to 60, and 98 handling, which is absolutely insane. You get the best Corvette, of course, the Superlight, and of course the Audi S8 Plus, which is one of the best medium ground clearance epics. But once again, it's German, so, and it's also Audi. So I'm just waiting for the next update. Just wait. PL13, that thing's gonna go low like every other Audi and every other Mercedes. It's just sad. You have the CC100, amazing machine, the Evo X, and of course the Magan Trophy, the KTM Expo. Some really great cars, and of course the Charger SRT Hellcat, the best dragster. Moving on to legendaries. Now, this one is going to be controversial, but every car in here has a reason but one. Okay, like I said, this is completely unbiased but one. There is one car in here that, yes, has some bias. I just really wanted it to be in there. So there's one car, but for the most part it is unbiased. Like I said, there are French cars everywhere. There's one car, and that is indeed the DBS Superleggera. I had to put the DBS Superleggera in this, okay? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad car. It's not a bad legendary. It's actually a pretty good legendary. I don't think it's the best, but like, I had to put it in there. The ACR, that thing is justified, okay? That thing is justified. The ACR is actually one of the best legendaries in the game. One of the best American legendaries in the game, especially that handling buff. 104 for 86 RQ. When you think of 104 handling, you kind of think of cars that are 90 plus RQ, right? And don't forget, this thing is amazing MRA as well. It's like 92, 95, something like that. But yeah, I got some amazing machines in here. You know, we got the ATS-V, which is one of the best medium ground clearance cars in the game. But of course, I also have the best medium ground clearance car in the game, which is the BMW M5. But as you can see, 92 to 80, that's a big difference, right? You got cars like the Chiron and the Rimac Concept 1. Obviously, once again, no price cars. course, no prize cars. I know, there are a lot of prize cars that deserve it. You got the Alfa Stelvio Quadra Spaghetti, which is like the best all-surface tire car in the game. You got the Koenigsegg Agera Final, which I think is a better version than the Jesko. The Jesko. Let me know if I'm right, but it seemed like it was because it had better MRA and then and very similar stats. And then you have like the Peugeot 206, which is like the best off-road four-wheel drive car in the game that isn't a prize car. Some amazing ones. You got the 311 super light. Just I don't know. I want to put the 311 and the 620R together because these two look pretty nice. 3191, 2891, they're both super light. This thing beats the super light as well in everything but a slalom. And then you have like the 640i BMW, which is the best standard tire car in the game. It's amazing. And then once again, I have the R390 because it's such low RQ with such high MRA. It's a great drag, car to save your RQ in quotation marks. It's a legendary, but it's a low RQ legendary nonetheless. So some great cars in here. I have to say, one really interesting thing is that there's not a single McLaren in this, and there's not a single Lamborghini in the Blossom Choice Legendary Selection. It's actually kind of insane because when you think about it, most of the Lamborghinis are trash, and then when it comes to McLarens, there's just I really thought about it. I looked back and I was like, wow. There's really no McLaren in this, isn't there? Because when you think about it, there's like the 720S GT3. It has the most handling out of every non-prize car legendary at 97. Obviously, you would think it deserves a spot, but when you put it next to the 962C, the 962C still runs circles around it because the 962C, although has 2 less handling, had 0.5. It's 0.5, like half a second faster than 60, and it has better MRA. I couldn't put in the 720S GT3 if I tried. The 962C is still king. But yeah, anyway, those are the Blossom choices. There are a lot more to see on my garage. Obviously, you can see the garage review scores if you want to see. For every garage review episode I've already done, if you want to see your garage in there, it's already there. I've updated the garage review scores as well. They're not out of 10 anymore. They're out of 100 now. Hall of Fame, obviously you get things like, the Tahoe. I call it the MBB. And then you have Bollywood and Hollywood. And then some other cool stuff. And then, of course, the update archives where I show you all the different updates. European Revolution, Great Exhibition, Italian Renaissance, German Renaissance, French Renaissance, and of course American Dream, so on and so forth. And then, here are all the patch notes that I could get from the App Store, and then of course my personal rating and the release date. If you're interested to know, 7 out of 10 for French Renaissance, and I gave a rating for European Revolution. I gave it 3 out of 10. This is not a good update, but anyway, it has one of the nicest start screens. But not a nice update. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, if you guys are interested to check out my website, link is down in the description below. You can always check it out. Just click the link and it just sends you right there. And there's a bunch of cool things to see, some other videos, some special videos as well. But yeah, hope you guys have a great day. I hope you found this useful. And once again, especially when it goes to common to super rare, because ultra rares that's kind of when it gets pretty hard for everyone to get, but when it comes for commons and super rares, these are kind of cars that everybody watching should have in their garage. These things are amazing. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Remember, stay safe and wash your hands. Blossom out.